So today we're going to take a good old look into Illuvium. So I have mentioned this project briefly before in a few previous gaming videos, but I've stayed away from kind of delving more deeply into gaming tokens simply because, if I'm honest, gaming isn't really my strong point in terms of knowledge. But with that being said, the gaming narrative obviously has huge potential to do well in this bull run. I think gaming is always one that kind of ends up taking off when the markets start to pump. So it only really makes sense to look into kind of gaming projects that can generate us some returns, which at the end of the day is pretty much what I think everybody is here for. So I've been looking into exactly what Illuvium is and what the game is based on and what potential I think this could have over the next year or so. So let's jump into today's presentation. Now, it does appear that Illuvium is based loosely on to be a little bit like Pokemon. Now, I was sat here at first thinking this is great, I used to love Pokemon, but when I actually think about it, I think I watched the Pokemon movie that came out maybe once so that I could try and get my older brother to believe that I was cool, which unfortunately never did work. But it gives me something to go off with trying to understand the actual gameplay, right? So Illuvium stands as a decentralized 3D open world fantasy RPG game. So it's offering players the opportunity to explore landscapes, capture these little monsters which are known as Illuvials, and engage in battles within the battle arena to secure Ether rewards. So taking their influence from Pokemon, I believe, this game structure aims to establish itself as the premier AAA title within the blockchain gaming realm. So Illuvium is promising an immersive gaming experience which is comparable to the likes of Elden Ring and God of War. So maybe if you're a little bit more familiar with gaming, this will make sense to you. I don't particularly know either one of these games, so if it's comparable, let me know in the comments below. So it's powered by Unreal Engine 4.26 and it's developed by a skilled team. So the game has cutting edge graphics. So I kind of included this in the background because the graphics on it are really, really good, which is quite unusual, I think, for blockchain games. Ones that I've seen before have been very kind of pixelated, I think, or just not really very advanced compared to where we are with technology now. And the battles are orchestrated through C++ simulations, which are seamlessly integrated into the Unreal Engine, and is offering players the chance to relive their matches in cinematic detail. So the game's narrative is drawn inspiration from both outer space exploration and the creature collecting concept of Pokemon. So players start off being stranded on this kind of decaying planet, and it's kind of overrun with these little monsters which are known as Illuvials. Now, each Illuvial has their own unique power and ability. So as players are navigating through the universe, they unravel the secrets of the monsters and what their place is in the game's story. So Illuvium is operating on the Ethereum blockchain and it's utilising Immutable X, which is a layer 2 solution, employing the ZK rollup technology. So this setup is ensuring that players can enjoy fee-free transactions while benefiting from the security provided by the Ethereum network to safeguard their in-game assets. Now, if we take a look into the team, so I've done a little bit of digging into the team that is behind Illuvium, because if I'm being completely honest, I am very nosy and I love to read about what inspired people to build these projects. So it was established by the Warwick brothers, who are Kieran, Aaron and Grant Warwick. And what's quite interesting about this is that they are the younger siblings of Kane Warwick, who was the creator of the Synthex protocol, which is a prominent synthetic asset DeFi platform which has over 1 billion in TVL, so it is a big project. So their involvement in crypto, and they were obviously influenced a little bit by their older brother Kian, I think, is what sparked their interest in the blockchain technology. However, the concept for Illuvium did not materialise until late 2020. So the inspiration first came when Kieran encountered Axie Infinity and its play-to-earn ecosystem, and he was intrigued by the idea of play-to-earn and the NFT-based game asset ownership, and this is when he started embarking to develop his own blockchain game. So drawn obviously from the Pokemon gameplay mechanism of capturing, training and battling little monsters, Kieran merged it with auto battler combat style, which is similar to League of Legends and teamfight tactics. So I have actually heard of League of Legends. Not played it, but I have heard of it, so we're progressing. So the brothers obviously played a major role in founding the game, but the development of it has been mostly overseen by the Illuvium DAO from the very beginning. So this decentralized autonomous organisation comprises of ILV token holders who manage and steer the game's progress. So the Illuvium DAO operates through a council representative, which was known as the Illuminati Council. so I can't say that without laughing, so excuse me on that. But these council members are serving as community representatives. They engage in the debates and vote on different proposals, and currently they have over 150 contributors who are actively involved in the development. So there's quite a lot of information on this slide, but I hope it all kind of makes sense. So there are 4 different components to the game. So we have the Illuvials, the Illuviari, the game items, and the regions. So the Illuvials are the little monsters that are found on the planet where the players first start their journey. So they are very similar to the Pokemon monsters, and they can transform and learn new attacks as they level up and advance. So players can discover and tame over 100 different Illuvials in the game, and each has a distinct ability which is determined by their class and affinity. So they can belong to one of 5 classes and 5 affinities, which is similar to Pokemon as well. And each Illuvial can evolve from its base form into a final stage. Now the Illuviari, this functions similar to Pokemon's Pokédex. So it serves as a database which is containing information on all of the Illuvials in the game. However, players must explore regions and encounter Illuvials before they can gain access to the complete details in the Illuviari. So Illuvium integrates blockchain technology into this process by crediting the name of the first player to discover a specific Illuvial next to its official entry in the global Illuviari database following the game's launch. So if we move on to game items, so there, apart from the Illuvials, which are obviously a game item, there are other game items which are represented as NFTs and can be traded on the open market in the game. So these items are used to aid in the process of capturing and taming the Illuvials. So there are 4 primary items that a player can use in the game. So we have shards, which are crystal silvers and are used to capture and control Illuvials after battles. So these are NFTs and they come in different tiers which affect the capture success rate. So players start with a set amount and can mine additional shards in-game. So these are also tradable on the Illuvidex. And then we have weapons. So these are NFTs which are equipped onto the player's avatar before battles, and they influence the avatar's class and provide synergy bonuses to the Illuvial team. And these are also tradable on the Illuvidex. So the third game item is armor, which are also NFTs, and they're equipped by the player for defense against enemy attacks. And finally, we have imbues. So these are cosmetic enhancements that distinguish a player's purchases. They are modular and applicable to various in-game items such as weapons, armor, and drones. So these are also available to trade. So initially, Illuvium will launch with a set of regions which are available to players, with more to unlock later through obelisks. So these new regions will introduce captivating landscapes, tough challenges, significant lore, along with new Illuvials to discover and collect. So the regions will be tiered, with Tier 0 region accessible for free players, which is allowing them to explore and experience the game before making any investment. And then if you choose to invest into it, obviously more tiers of this will unlock. So if we just talk about the token utility, so obviously the token for Illuvium is ILV, and this serves as the governance token for the Illuvium DAO, and it's enabling holders to participate in governance activities. So this is such as proposing protocol enhancements and electing members to the Illuminati Council for voting on these proposals. So additionally, ILV holders can also earn rewards by staking their tokens in the liquidity mining program. So rewards are subject to a 12-month vesting period, or they're immediately claimable as SILV2 for in-game purchases. Now, all in-game revenue from purchases and the marketplace transactions is distributed to stakers in the form of ILV. So SILV2 is a synthetic ILV token and is exclusively used within the in-game economy. So it is pegged to the value of ILV, and SILV2 facilitates payments for travel and shard queuing within the game. But the one thing to note is that it is restricted from use in other transactions, including those on the Illuvidex marketplace. So if we quickly take a look at CoinMarketCap, okay, so we can see that Illuvium currently has a $447 million market cap. Now, the trading volume on this is down quite significantly over the day, which I wouldn't say is a huge concern, as overall the token is up, but that's maybe something to look into. So the circulating supply of it is nearly 4 million Illuvium, and the total supply is currently sitting at nearly 8 million. Now, it shows here that the maximum supply is not available, but I'm sure that I read somewhere that it has a maximum supply of 9.61 million. I could be wrong on that, so maybe double check on that, but yeah, I think it does have a maximum supply. And if we take a look at the previous all-time high for it, so it hit a previous all-time high in May 29 of 2021, and this was at $2,868. So it's currently down 95% from its all-time high. And if we look at it on the all-time chart, we can see that in the previous bull run in 2022, it done absolutely fantastically, but obviously during the bear market, it's had a brutal pullback on it, where we came down to around about, well, we can see $39 here. So from its peak at like 1.8, that's a massive pullback on it. But over this year, we can see that it really has started to make its comeback. So from around about October of last year, we can see that it's been on a very steady upward trend on it. Now, over the last 7 days, it has increased 25%. So I would say that this shows that the gaming narrative is kind of starting to come back into cryptocurrency, and in the lead up to the Bitcoin halving and obviously the upcoming bull run, I think that we can expect to see this go a little bit insane. Will we see the same prices as the previous all-time high? I'm not 100% sure on it. I don't have enough kind of knowledge in the gaming industry to say that it will definitely do that, but I think it will do very well. We can already see it starting to increase. We can see the interest coming back into the project, so it will be super interesting to see where it can go this year. So for a couple of years now, there have been a lot of play-to-earn games in the crypto industry, but personally I don't think any of them have been hugely successful in terms of them becoming more mainstream to play. Do I mean mainstream? I think I do mean mainstream. Like, they haven't become the kind of regular game that is being played in the real world. Now, I can't really comment on the game specifically, but from the kind of things that I've read, the main issue appears to be the actual gameplay itself has not been overly engaging for users. So there's definitely a few fun and interesting games which have been developed or are currently being developed by major game studios such as Sky Mavis, Gala Games, etc. But I don't know how many of them could truly qualify as being a AAA game. So this is where Illuvium obviously comes in with its claim to be the AAA game of the blockchain. From the little snippets of it that I have watched of people kind of playing in it, this must be some of the best graphics that I've ever seen. It seems to have a good storyline behind it. It seems to be quite engaging in that it has a good storyline behind it. But I would take it with a pinch of salt, just bearing in mind the brutally short lifespan of the games on the blockchain and play-to-earn space. They seem to be very kind of everybody's all for one specific game. I think we've seen it with Gala Games in the previous run especially, where there's this massive hype of it and then it just kind of dies. So it's one that I would be wary of before investing, but potentially it could be incredible in terms of returns in the bull run. So let me know in the comments below if you have ever played Illuvium yourself, or maybe there's another game that you think is way more interesting or way more captivating. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye!